Check the time and adjust your dial. It's time for the GZ Chop Shop Podcast, the best podcast by gamers for gamers. Each week, we give you the rundown of all the happenings in the gaming world, news updates, reviews, and much more. We do all the research so you don't have to. And if you still want more after the show, we got you covered. Check out our website at thegzchopshop.com for all of our latest content. Now keep your ears locked because it's time for the GZ Chop Shop.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another week of the GZ Chop Shop. It is a jam-packed episode for you guys all tuning in this week. But before we kick things off, definitely some breaking news. Actually, we're recording this on Tuesday, the 14th. So if you guys haven't heard the news, by the time you guys get this, it'll be Thursday. If you have an Apple product, please go into your settings and do the security software update. It was breaking news that hackers have been able to infiltrate Apple security software, and they are literally getting access to all of your information, taking over phones, and it's big enough that it made the news. So hopefully you guys have seen that in the news. But if you have not, make sure to go in, do the security update immediately, protect yourself, protect all your personal information.
Hide your family, hide your wife, hide your kids.
Hide your wife, hide your kids.
Snatch up your accounts and take all your money.
They tried to, yeah. So make sure you guys do that. It came out, like I said, on the day we're recording this, which is Tuesday, September the 14th. So if you haven't done it already, make sure to go and do it. If you have done it, double check that they didn't do another one and protect yourselves. So what have we got on the lineup for today? Well, we have got a full episode. We're going to be talking about some upcoming games that were announced at the Sony Showcase. We're going to pick up with our favorite, as we just started off with, Apple and their lawsuit with Epic and how that kind of turned out in a weird way.
Very bizarre.
What?
Very bizarre.
It's very bizarre. Definitely very, very bizarre. And then we're going to touch on some opinionated topics of Discord, now that it's public, how is it changing? What do we expect from it in the future? And of course, ending with our favorite of Twitch suing the hate raiders and our opinions on that. So a full healthy episode for you guys. So without further ado, let's dive right on in, starting with the Sony Showcase. Now, personally, I will admit I did not watch the Sony Showcase, but I didn't need to, because that's what the YouTube snippets are for, and friends, because everybody was talking about it like not even 5 minutes after it was over. So I knew everything about it like 5 minutes after it concluded. Everyone's like, did you watch the Sony Showcase? And before I could even answer, they're like, did you see about Spider-Man 2, God of War Ragnarok, and like 13 other games, and Wolverine? And I was like, I didn't watch it, but now I know. So I guess now I'll go watch those specific trailers. And I gotta say, looking very, very good. The gaming lineup is looking chef's kiss. I'm very impressed. Spider-Man 2 looks really good. I'm glad they're bringing in Venom. So if you guys have not seen it, I highly recommend watching the trailers. If you don't want to watch the whole showcase like I didn't, go watch the trailers. The Wolverine teaser, I would say the Wolverine teaser was enough for me to want to get a PS5. That was justifiable because we haven't had the Wolverine game that came out that's based off of the movies was phenomenal, but it had to stick to the movies. This game gets to be its own thing and still use the mechanics that made that original game so amazing. Like his legit healing factor, the gruesomeness of it. They don't have to pull their punches. It's being made by Insomniac, so they're going to do it justice. Insomniac really showed out at this showcase. So personally, I think it was amazing. But I know you wanted to talk about everybody's fussing of Thor and his appearance in God of War Ragnarok.
Have you seen the memes? I encourage anyone who has not seen the memes for the new Ragnarok game with their version of Thor. Just Google them. It is ridiculous. It's so funny. But you know, like a lot of people have pointed out, the version of Thor that they're portraying is the
Norse mythology accurate.
Right. Yeah, it's accurate. And it's not the, you know, superhero that we're all
the Marvel cinematic
with, you know?
one. which is funny because when you think about it, Marvel in the end, I guess as a haha, they went accurate for his last appearance in the they did. He was kind of just drinking, having fun, had his hammer. He had power, but he was kind of a little overweight there. Belly on him, little beer belly on him. And it's funny because like so many people are like having a fit, and it's like, guys, you do realize this is not Marvel. They're basing these gods off of their origins, how they appear.
I saw one dude. He was like, "So what is this like two dad bods facing off?"
The dad bod
one shows up with a weapon, the other one shows up. He still works out, but you know, you could tell he has kids.
Dude, but all in all, I think the game looks amazing.
It looks phenomenal.
Yeah, I will say this: the gaming showcase, at least the games, looking great. Sony has some amazing things in their lineup. I just want to point out one glaring issue, and I was actually talking with Byrne about this, and he agreed with me. Like, yeah, they got to figure this out. You've got these amazing games coming out, amazing. You know, people are going to be in the high demand. I need a PS5 now. This is what I was waiting for. I need a PS5. The problem is Sony still doesn't have enough PS5s. So what is this going to mean in the coming year for those game sales? Because everyone who could get a PS5 already has one, and everyone else is still waiting for a PS5 Gen 1. And on top of that, Sony has already, well, we won't say Sony, but it's been leaked by, we'll say, unreliable sources. But at the same time, most leaks usually come from them. That doesn't mean that they're all wrong. It doesn't mean they're all right. But there's rumors floating about that Sony's already working on a PS5 Pro for 2023. Yet a lot of people still can't get a Gen 1 day one PS5. And you've got these top shelf AAA games coming out within at least the next year to 2 years. How are they going to handle these sales? Like, what are they going to do? Because there's not enough consoles to go around for everyone who wants these games. And I don't think they're making them for PS4.
What was was it the PS4 Mini? Is that what was it? What was it called?
The Slim?
The Slim. So yeah, Slim. I call myself a gamer. The Mini.
It's okay. Like, he's a PC gamer. We can forgive
Mini.
him. He called it the Mini.
The Mini, if you know, correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, you called it a Mini again, so
I did. I called the Mini again. The Slim, if I'm not mistaken, was just pretty much as powerful, but it had less less gigabyte storage, less stuff to it, to make it cheaper. I feel like what they're going to do is they're going to release a similar thing with this Pro, but the graphic cards are not going to be as high end. And I don't know if that necessarily might actually affect the graphics of the games or the abilities of the games, because just like in computers, a lot of times what the game requires isn't necessarily what it needs from the console itself to play at full capacity. So I'm wondering if they're just going to kind of downgrade the system a little bit and sell it for cheaper, so that they hopefully will have more to sell and to offer. But again, even that comes down to, are we still going to have issues with the scalpers at that time, or the ones buying up all the fucking graphics cards so that they can mine for cryptocurrency?
because, game development, that's not going to halt. Like, the game developers are doing their utmost. They have consoles to test it on. They have their equipment to make these games. The thing is getting the games into the hands of gamers, and downgrading the system seems like a hard step backwards that we don't want to go. Now, I'm not saying it'll be downgraded to PS4 level. PS4 came out almost, well over 10 years ago. So anything that they, hopefully do, the parts will still be better than a PS4, but probably not as much better than, the Pro. And it'll be like somewhere between the Pro and their Gen 1 PS5, because the whole reason nobody can get one is because they don't have the parts, because everyone's scooping them up. And then on top of that, just everyone wanting to have a PS5, the scalpers are still going to be a problem. We're not going to be out of the GPU crisis for another year, it's predicted. The scalpers know, hey, people are really going to, and if anything, this is going to increase it, because now they know, like, people are really going to want to get their hands on this console now. So any version of a PS5 that comes out is going to be scooped up immediately by the numbers.
Yeah, and I think the last thing either of us really heard about what were these graphics card companies doing about this was, I think Nvidia was coming out with graphic cards that made it they ran 80% slower, was it? For cryptocurrency, it could like detect it and
yep. And then that failed. And
then it failed. They hacked right through it. I haven't heard anything else since then. And I wonder, are people using what's the other one? I can never, I don't fucking use them. The other graphics card company.
AMD.
AMD. I'm having like a brain fart here. I suck today.
We got the PlayStation Mini and
where's my green tea? Hold up. Hang on a second. That's what it is.
He needs his tea. He literally, he always has his tea. This time he doesn't have his tea, so his brain is running on like minimal capacity. Comes over, he's making up new names. But then again, Warner's always makes up new names for stuff. Always making up new names. I kind of like the PlayStation Mini though. I'm not gonna lie. I actually had a nice ring to it.
I constantly make up names for things. I don't know. I think it's ever since I got hit by that car. I'm telling you, man.
You know what you reminded me of? That meme when the chick was talking about how her friend was making fun of all the Pokemon and he was renaming all the Pokemon.
I thought you were about to go with a blonde joke.
I was like, no, Warner, you're that guy that just renames everything.
It's true. It's like, I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I want to put out, but the words just don't always come to me. I'm telling you, dude, that mysterious car, that
mysterious, elusive car
person. But anyways, AMD, I have not personally heard of their products being really utilized in the same way that Nvidia and their products get utilized. So I wonder if that's the case, if we're going to start seeing Nvidia start creeping up and becoming much more competitive between, more competition between AMD and Nvidia. Because I mean, I don't know. Have you heard anything?
No, it seems like all the companies have just kind of gone silent because I don't think they know what to do. I mean, all they can do is they can't not make them. They can't not.
But are the Nvidia graphics card are the AMD graphics cards getting utilized for cryptocurrency? Because I've only read about mostly Nvidia getting used.
Honestly, I think all of them are. I think AMD was actually having a shortage before the GPU crisis. But I don't know if it was due to cryptocurrency. But in terms of power, I don't think the AMDs were on the same level as NVIDIA. So nobody was probably really grabbing them up. But now it's at the point where I think crypto miners just don't care. They just need a graphics card that works. So they're probably I think they're getting sucked up too now. Maybe not on the scale that NVIDIA was or is, but they're definitely a close second. So yeah, right now, I don't know, because I think the PS5 actually used AMD parts. and they were having a problem. I think that's part of the story. I think the PS5 uses AMD parts.
And that was part of the problem, was not being able to.
They didn't have enough parts.
Not having enough parts. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like up in the air. I mean, who's to really say what's going to happen or what the end product of the new Pro is going to look like? Because unfortunately, it does come down to the continuing issue of the crypto mining and the scalpers. And it's like you said, these companies, these graphics card companies, have been extremely silent since the NVIDIA graphics cards tried their hand at fixing the problem and got hacked pretty much immediately.
Yep.
But yeah, let's see. We got the Spider-Man game coming out, which looked very promising. I don't think anyone out there. Hey, you come out with a new Spider game every year, nobody would be upset.
Nobody would be upset. Unless you just like made I don't know, like a bad movie version. Then people would probably be mad. But they I think they only had like one that was a bad movie version. Yeah, nobody plays it.
Yeah, I guess there's been so many great ones that nobody remembers because
exactly.
I don't.
Most the Spider-Man games are loved.
Yeah, the Wolverine trailer, goosebumps. Oh my god, man,
phenomenal.
I was like, is that Hugh Jackman? I was like, is that Hugh Jackman?
I want to know what they're gonna make him look like.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll look more a little, because Hugh Jackman did a great job. There's no denying that. However, you look at the comic books and what Wolverine is really like in the comics, and he definitely looks more scruffier and like stouter and pissed off than he did in the movies. In the movies, they gave him a little bit more humanity to his appearance and emotion, which is not a bad thing. I mean, like I said, he did a great job. So yeah, I'm also curious like how they're going to go about this Wolverine. What's he going to look like? Is he going to kind of resemble what we've seen in the movies a little bit? Because everyone does love Hugh Jackman so much. Is he going to be
short?
Is he going to be short? I don't think he's going to be. I think he's going to be average. I don't think he's going to be short like he is in the comics. I think he's going to be kind of average.
But now, see, me personally, I take issue with that. I take issue with that as a short person. Why can't we have our short hero? Why they got to make him tall? He's short.
Oh,
Let him be.
He's the things I want to say, but I won't.
Look, all right.
I'm just saying, like he was taking up a lot of space on that one stool, sitting at that.
He was a stocky dude.
I'm like, it was hard to tell. But I felt bad for whoever was walking in there with that little butter knife or whatever the fuck it is, little pocket knife. I'm like, you're fucking up, buddy. Do you not? I'm just saying, if I walked into a bar room, right, and I saw one dude kind of sized up having a drink and a bunch of dead bodies around me, I don't give a fuck what superpowers I have. I'm going to leave.
I'm out.
I'm
Sir,
leaving.
Enjoy your drink.
There's no way I'm going in there. I don't care what happened. I'm like,
did the guy walk in or did he wake up? First of all, if he woke up, did you get hit so hard in the head you don't remember why you got knocked out?
You know what? That's a good question. I don't remember if he woke up. I think he walked into the room, but maybe he woke up. It doesn't matter. He pulled a fucking pocket knife out like he was about to do some shit. I don't care if he walked into a room or woke up in the room. Dead bodies everywhere. One dude, very quiet, back turned to you, drinking. I'm out. I'm gonna go about my day. Have a good day, sir. No qualms with me.
But personally, yeah, I'm excited for all those titles that they've got coming out. So bravo to Insomniac for working on those amazing projects. Those are definitely going to be exciting. Can't wait for those to come down the pipeline. Sony, please let us know what you're going to do about your PS5 crisis. I'm sure they're just telling everyone we'll have plenty by next year, but there's no way because the demand keeps going up and nobody can get one. So I'm very curious to see how they handle this.
So, and the next game I wanted to talk about very briefly, because there's not really much information on it, is talks of this new Twisted Metal game coming out in 2023.
I did see you post about that.
I did. So basically what's happening is there's a few people that work in the gaming industry, one of them being Tom Henderson, who historically has had all the scoops on Call of Duty and Battlefield reveals over the past decade. And he shared some images of Twisted Metal reboot coming out. And then after that, there was just like a little more information put out. It was kind of anonymous from what I understand. But he said that it's looking like there's going to be, it's a 10th annual competition, and they're going to wreak havoc through 6 levels of the city with, I quote, "We had these amazing visions of this Michael Bay action movie type situation going down in this video game."
You would be so proud.
So 12 unique vehicles with their own drivers, obviously unique strengths and weaknesses, all for the end to convey with the organizer, Calypso, who will grant them whatever their heart desires. Mm-hmm. And then following
so it's
that,
not like a soft reboot of any sort.
It's a continuation.
Okay.
From what I understand. I mean, if they're going to say it's the 10th annual competition, I'm not sure how many Twisted Metal games there are, but 10 does sound about right. Because there's been quite a few.
Good question. How many Twisted Metal?
The last one I remember was the one that PlayStation came out with several years ago. What was it? I don't remember the name of it. Let's look it up because I don't remember. Someone else might.
I'm looking to see how many. It just says all the consoles they came out on. So let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I forgot about Black. 6, 7, 8. Then 20, 12, 9.
Yeah, it was Twisted Metal Black in 2015.
Black was
and
2015?
It did okay. Yeah, it was Twisted Metal Black in 2015. And it came out on the PS2 and 3, and then Microsoft for PC, and it did mediocre. It did mediocre.
Yeah, it seems like after the PlayStation 2 era, Twisted Metal kind of fell into obscurity, only pretty much liked by those who remember the original Twisted Metals from the PS1 era. So this is a good chance not only to revitalize the series, but introduce it to a new generation.
All I remember is playing Twisted Metal. I think it was Twisted Metal 4. I think it's 4. The one where you could play Calypso, and Calypso was in a sort of, I think she was in like a long fire truck looking nuclear launcher. And all I remember is back, left, down. Because if you use the nuclear weapon last and you had no more weapons left, you could spam the nuclear weapon as much as you wanted. And because of that, games didn't get patched back then. I never lost. I'm gonna tell you right now, I never lost, and people would get so mad at me. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Learn the.
Okay,
get
so
good.
you can't remember other names, but you can remember your button combo input for Twisted Metal.
There was a lot of inputs.
All right, so we know the priorities in War Nurse's life.
Left, down.
We know your priorities, and I respect this.
Hey, there's people that remember Mortal Kombat combinations from like the Nintendo and PlayStation 1 and 2.
Not this guy.
No, I don't remember those. Those are too long. You're talking like triangle with square, up, down, left, right, up, down, with like fucking 15 combos.
Nope. Can't. Nope. All right. But moving on to some more technical heavy topic. Good old Apple back in the news. I mean, have they really been out of the news though? But in this case, for anyone who got the update, I want to say it's been a very interesting week. The verdict came out to rule in Epic's favor-ish in the Apple versus Epic. So for anyone who doesn't know or doesn't remember, because this has been like a year-long plus some going battle. Epic pretty much was coming after Apple after they removed Fortnite from the store, because Epic wanted to offer other means of payment plans to their users that circumvented Apple's mandatory 30% cut via their store. In turn, Apple said, well, if you're not going to pay us our 30% cut, you can't advertise or put your game in our store. Well, of course, being that Apple has the biggest market of users, that hurt Epic tremendously, because they had no longer access to that mobile user base of Apple users. So they took them to court, basically, and the verdict finally came out on September 10th, I believe it was, September 10th.
Yeah.
That at first seemed like a jump for joy for Epic winning. However, as I sent Warner's today an article that dived a little bit more deeply into this, and you guys can find this stuff in the New York Times, it's more of a split decision where Apple really didn't lose anything and Epic didn't really win anything.
It kind of felt like the judge was just kind of like, all right, everyone shut up and go to your rooms.
Yeah, basically, I feel like the judge looked at probably her Apple phone and was like, oh man, I got a dinner date tonight and
I don't have time for this.
I don't have time for this. My son needs money for his Fortnite game download. How do we
yeah,
like
how do we just make this about myself?
How do we just make this go away? And when so basically, I'll read an excerpt. I can't talk. Warner's you're contagious. From this article, once again in the New York Times. I'll put a link in the Discord for anyone who wants to check this out for themselves. But it says, a decision that's split in big tech's favor. A federal judge's split decision on Friday in the high-profile case between Apple and Epic, which stopped short of declaring Apple a monopoly. Now, we've talked about monopolies in previous episodes. How Google's being attacked for being considered a monopoly, and how Apple is pretty much, people are coming at them about being a tech giant monopoly. But said it was anti-competitive, allowed third parties on both sides of the argument to claim victory. The ruling also set off celebrations among developers who said the ruling would allow them to avoid Apple's 30% commission on in-app purchases. Spotify, one of those developers, said it was pleased with the ruling. However, the catch to that is the wording that I guess the judge used for their ruling. Because at first I said, oh man, Apple lost. Ooh, are they going to get petty about this? But they won't have to, because how the judge worded it may have sealed their fate, sealed Epic's fate in a way that nothing has changed. Because basically it said, there's plenty of room for interpretation in the judge's order on Apple's steering rules, which said that Apple cannot prohibit developers from, quote, including in their apps and their metadata buttons, external links, or other calls to action that direct customers to purchasing mechanisms in addition to in-app purchasing, the judge's decision said. And then it goes on to say there's a debate about the difference between buttons and links, which could make the effect of the ruling less significant than it seems. If a button, like a shopping cart icon or pay now call out, isn't the same as a link, then Apple could interpret the ruling as allowing things that look like buttons but don't take users to external sites when they tap them. And then when you get down into the nitty gritty of it, it's basically saying Apple could say, well, the judge said we can't stop you from saying there's options, but we can stop you from letting those options be clickable. So you can tell people, hey, there is an alternative. However, it can't actually be a clickable thing, because a button doesn't have to always be a link. A button can literally just be, a button, like a bubble. And it could say, hey, other ways to pay. But that's all it would do. It doesn't have to always be a link. So what this is saying is Apple can still get that 30% cut because if people aren't reading the fine deep print and then they go and they, make a button and a link and then they get cut off by Apple saying, nah, you can't do that. And then they go, what the judge said, and then they can go, what the judge said is this. So this gray area is where Apple still wins. Because if you make a link, because it says call out, like a call to actions are completely different because call to actions are the equivalent of us saying, hey, are you guys listening to our podcast? Go check out our podcast. It's a call out, but there's no link attached. So it's up to you to do that extra legwork. What Apple was preventing them from doing was doing any kind of announcement that there was other ways to pay. That was where the issue came in. Now they can't block them from saying there are other ways to pay. But however, that gray area still allows them to block those optional ways. So the thing is, where I feel Apple kind of can sit back on its loins and go, it's all good. We already know the attention span of humans is very short. No one is usually going to make that extra effort to leave the game they're playing, to go to another website, to find an alternative way to play, to then hope their accounts link up via Apple, to then come back into the game, to then hopefully get their rewards. No one's going to want to go through that. So you can tell people there's other ways to pay, but I don't think anyone's going to go through those extra steps.
No.
So in the end, Apple is still going to win because everyone's going to do what's the most convenient.
And at the end, the judge sided with Apple on questions of monopoly. While the court finds that Apple enjoys considerable market share of over 55% and extraordinarily high profit margins, these factors alone do not show antitrust conduct. That's what the judge wrote. Success is not illegal.
That was the line that got me too. Success is not illegal. And I was like, oh.
Can we please pull up? Can we? Because I want to get the definition 100% correct. I'm going to pull up the definition of a monopoly real quick.
While you're pulling that up, I just want to say, does anyone else feel that was a slap in the face to Epic when the judge goes, success is not illegal? Like Epic, step your game up.
All right, so right here, this is just briefly. Let me pull it. It's kind of cut me off here. Okay, fucking pop-ups. All right, definition of a monopoly: a market structure characterized by a single seller selling a unique product in the market. In the monopoly market, the seller faces no competition as he is the sole seller of goods with no close substitution. Mm-hmm. So for someone to be a monopoly, they have to basically buy out their competition and be the only one available for other people to be available to come to them and get that one product, which Apple is not doing. What Apple is doing is making it excessively difficult for Epic to make the money that that Epic feels they should be receiving for their product by giving them multiple options and manipulating the buttons and the links. And it's very difficult to define in the tech world right now where that gray line is, because these issues are only recently starting to become an issue. So the fact that he said success is not illegal is absolutely hilarious, because he's not wrong.
Yeah. The fact that Apple goes undefeated right now.
Here we go. Factors like government license, ownership of resources, copyright and patent, and high starting cost to make an entity a single seller of goods. All these factors restrict the entry of other sellers in the market. So there's that great line. Are they restricting Epic? Yes. Are they restricting them to the point where at least this judge felt like it was it came down to a monopoly that they were doing anything illegal? No. I can't get over that comment.
Success is not illegal. I mean, and they have what, 55%? Apple's got the money. At this point, she basically was saying, and this is pretty much what creates sharks in business. This is why business is such a cutthroat thing, because this judge's ruling proves, how that this approach is what everyone quote unquote needs to have, because by her saying success is not illegal, it's like Apple found a way to make a ton of money. And if you just look at how people make money with side gigs and whatever, unless you're hustling, bustling, selling drugs, for the most part, how you make your money is not illegal. So being successful in that branch technically wouldn't be illegal, because if you look at it from a standpoint of, if she ruled in Apple's favor, by her logic, she would be saying success is illegal, which would start a whole nother string of problems.
That judge was treading lightly. Very lightly. Based off what she said, and, again, anyone can go on here and read from the New York Times or any other reliable source the situation going on. It gets into a little bit more details. You can definitely tell that the judge is like, fuck.
Yeah. And kudos to Judge Yvonne Rogers for I feel she did the best she could with this case, because I know I joked about it earlier, but the chances are they probably are Apple family whose kids probably play Fortnite. So it was like, of all the things to fall in her lap, that's like the worst too. It's like,
you think she went home and her son's like raging out on Fortnite, and she's like, I'm tired of this. Everyone go to your room.
I'm tired. We're going Samsung. We're going Samsung and Xbox.
That's it. Everyone gets a Samsung and Xbox.
But with this case, it also didn't work in Epic's favor that they tried to cover two huge grounds in one lawsuit. They wanted to cover Apple being a monopoly, and they wanted to cover their own personal problem. To attack Apple as a monopoly, that needed to be a case in and of itself. And they tried to do two things. They tried to kill two birds with one stone. That was just too big of a bird. That wasn't going to happen. And to also prove that this is not entirely a win, and Epic knows it's not a win, they are appealing the ruling. They have already submitted an appeal to the ruling.
Something's illegal here, and we're going to find out.
And they have already filed an appeal. They want it overruled, and they still want to drag this out because they didn't get the result that they wanted, because now they're reading the print and they're like, hold up. Wait, nothing's changed. We're still screwed.
Imagine the money they're, because Apple's not the only law. They're having lawsuits across the board.
Oh yeah. They got lots of stuff going. People are attacking Apple left and right. And here's the thing, and this is just my personal opinion, especially with the case of like Spotify. Apple is the Google for a lot of other companies right now. And Google is where Microsoft was almost like 20 years ago, when Google stood up for the little guy, the people, and said, they're a monopoly, they must be stopped. And then boom, Windows, you're breaking antitrust, you got to step down, you got to let Google in. And then Google became the new Windows, and they haven't budged since. Apple is in that position. The thing is, all of these companies like Epic and Spotify, they're attacking Apple not for the benefit of the little people, not to offer more affordable reasons. They just want the whole pie. Well, they want to be the monopoly.
Google, one thing that's different is, unlike Google at the time, Apple is having to deal with gaming companies and publishers and developers. Google didn't have that back then. That wasn't an issue. So now the hurdles today are even higher.
Yeah. And the thing is, the only reason Apple has to deal with it is because their user base is still the largest. And these gaming companies need the most outreach they can get. And most of them are Apple users. Yes, Android is popular, but there's plenty of people who own Android and Apple. The chances for every 10 people you pass on the street, at least 7 of them are going to be an Apple user. More than likely. They need access to that market. That's where their customers are. And Apple knows this. So Apple is saying, if I approach this with a business mindset, a logical business mindset, Apple is basically saying, okay, we've done the work. We made a product people want. We have put this product that people want in their hands. They like our product. We have created this market. These are our customers, our people. You want to benefit off the back of our work, which realistically is true. Apple has done the work to make that market so huge and popular
and possible
that when you push your product, you are basically benefiting from that work, that hard work. So Apple is coming in and saying, okay, well, if you are going to use what we've built to push your product, because if you become popular, this is kind of like paying for rights. That 30% would probably be nothing if your game became popular or whatever you push became popular. It became popular because you built it. Yes, you put in those hours, you put in that effort, but you didn't make that market you sold it to. Apple did. And they gave you the platform to sell it by saying, look, give us 30% and you can keep having access to it. And if you do in-app purchases and stuff and you make $1 million off of it, if Apple just let these people go and say, go, be free, and you get all these people that just make $1 million, that in hindsight would be unfair to Apple because you didn't find that audience. You used a platform that was already established and sold to that audience, and then take money from said audience at what cost to you. To build your product, you may have spent $1,000 one time and then made 3 times that amount in returns from Apple's years of building its market.
Well, yeah, you heard it here, people. The verdict's in, and the Chop Shop sides with Apple because success is not illegal.
Success is not illegal. And I'm just saying, if you think of it from a business standpoint, Warners, I'm not saying Apple are saints. I'm just saying if we built a marketplace.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
I 100% agree with you across the board. I have my issues with Apple and some of the things they've done and bitched about, but in this situation, Apple is not wrong.
They're not wrong.
And although I know since the days of when PC gaming first came about, Steam has been there for all of us for PC gaming.
One.
As especially when discs started leaving and online downloads became what was the thing. Steam is there. Steam does not have these problems. Steam, you don't hear about Steam trying to sue anybody or utilize
didn't they try to come at Steam too?
They tried to come at Steam and Steam didn't care, didn't pursue anything, and was like, whatever. You
fizzle out.
Your opinion and existence mean nothing to me.
Peasants?
Yeah, they try to come at Steam and nothing came of it because Steam didn't care and they have no reason to care. And Steam doesn't try to use other people's success to piggyback off so that they can make their own money.
Yeah. And that's basically what they got called out on. Like, look, Epic basically wanted access to the Apple community and they just didn't want to have to pay for it. Spotify wanted the same thing. And they just basically said, well, we don't want to pay for it. It's unfair.
That's exactly what they sound like.
Yeah. And they just basically didn't want to pay for it. We want to use you, not pay for it. But that's not how business works. How do the rich stay rich? By spending as little as possible to make as much as possible.
So Epic's fucking up because they're spending as much as possible trying to sue everybody
for little returns
and still not winning.
So basically, in business terms, Apple is in the right. And I think that's what the judge saw. And that's why the judge made her comment, success is not illegal. You want to use our platform, you're going to pay us for it. It's like an artist. Imagine if an artist drew work for you and you spent X amount. They charged you, $100 for their work. And then you go and you sell it on merchandise and make $100,000. They only made that $100 from you. That's why they charge rights.
And the fact is regardless of how much Epic is or isn't making versus what they want to, they are making something off of it.
Yeah.
And if it's that big of a deal, then stop utilizing other people's products to try to sell your games if it's that big of a deal. Because again, seems to be working for Steam, seems to be working for Origin.
Yeah. Which is surprising because everyone hates EA to an extent.
Right. And I really, I say that with kind of a cringe face, Origin. But I mean, there it is, they're not going after anybody.
No,
it's just Epic. And speaking of Epic, I have another complaint. I didn't tell you about this, Itachi. This happened earlier this week. I downloaded a game called Edge of Eternity. It's kind of a turn-based style, Final Fantasy feel type of game. Mm-hmm. I really love the storyline. It's a lot of fun. Initially, I didn't see it on Steam. I was just kind of browsing through everything on all the different platforms, just seeing if there was any games that looked cool that I'd want to play. And I saw Edge of Eternity, watched the clip. I started playing it. Thing was on sale for $25 or something. And I was really enjoying the game until it crashed, wouldn't open again. And
oh no,
I deleted it. I re-downloaded it. I changed the graphics. I did everything you could think of. I run as administrator, did everything. The game just fucked up and just wouldn't work for me anymore. It would always show a black screen with the music playing in the background, but I couldn't do anything or say anything. Well, can you guess what platform I purchased it and downloaded it from?
Why do you still use it?
It's the third time I've utilized Epic so I learned very quickly after that the game was also available on Steam. So I did what I always do with Epic and I sent a complaint.
Dude, they probably have a file just for you now.
Dude, I've for anyone who doesn't know this, there's been a few games I got sick of Epic back several months ago, and this started with Mech Warrior. Okay, this started with the Mech Warrior DLC. I was looking forward to. Don't fuck with my Mech Warrior, okay? And the game wouldn't work. It fucked my game up. I did the same thing I did with this game. The reinstalls, downloads, all that stuff. Nothing. It would not recognize the DLC. The game wouldn't work. I thought I lost all my content. Sent them an email yo, there's a reason. I said this. I showed Itachi. There's a reason y'all can't compete with Steam because XYZ.
No punches.
I pulled no punches. I didn't say anything, I didn't cuss or anything crazy like that, but I was professionally to the point. No shit. By the end of that day, not only did I get a refund, but my DLC was working. I don't know what they did, but everything was working. No content was lost. And I've had to do that a couple times. And Itachi's right. I should have learned my lesson with Epic. But this game, Edge of Eternity, looked really cool. And it wasn't too expensive. And I, at the time, thought it was only on Epic. So anyways, I went through that, got my money back, used that same money to buy it on Steam. I've been playing that game since. Great game for its price. Great storyline, very fun, and zero problems. All
I'm going to say is this also helps further cement my fear of going into the digital era of gaming. for reasons like that.
Well, Steam hasn't let me down so far.
Steam is like Nintendo. They know what works, they stick with it, and they don't give two shits about what anyone else is doing. And their community supports them. And they just keep plugging along. Anyone who tries to like come at them like, oh, get with the times, blah, blah, blah. They're just like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And they're just passive. It's the tortoise and the hare. And the tortoise is Steam. And they've just been trucking along. And Epic and everyone else is the hare. And they keep trying to speed up. And then they keep tripping themselves. And then Steam just keeps on keeping on. Steam and Nintendo are like buddies right now. They're just like, hey man, what's up? Oh, just out for a stroll. Hey, look, is that Epic? Oh, looks like they crashed again. Was that like the third time today?
It's like every boxer that tries to jump in the ring with Floyd Mayweather.
Yes, and just gets their ears boxed in. Yeah, pretty much. So it's like, from a business standpoint, I don't think Apple was wrong. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that, but I'm saying when you really break it down, I think small business owners would probably agree with my view on that, because if you do the marketing and you do the work and you've built this from the ground up, and heck, maybe Apple benefited from someone else's market and we just got to do some digging. But that's the kind of case that Epic needs to make. That's what Google did to Windows. They did the digging and they said, look at how you got here. And then you became a monopoly. They went and they made a solid case focused on that to dethrone them. They did their research and they focused on that attack point. And it's like, how do you get through bulletproof glass? You focus on that one spot over and over and over and over until you punch through. You don't shoot all over, you focus. And Epic is like, bang, 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 bang. They're shooting all over the place. They're not focusing. If you wanted to make a solid argument against Apple with a solid victory, you needed to focus on that point. If you wanted to dethrone them, you had to go for them being a monopoly and poke that one specific spot and do your research. How did Apple become Apple? Prove that they did to someone else what they're doing now. Did they dethrone someone by calling them a monopoly and then come to power? That's what you need to focus on. But they didn't do that.
I just really look forward to all the moments in my near future where I get to use the phrase to anybody: success is not illegal.
Success is not illegal. You heard it here on the GZ Chop Shop. About 5 years from now, success is not illegal.
All right, we've beaten that. Yeah, we've beaten this one to death.
We've beaten it to death. But there you go. There's your update for that one. So what was next? What else is on our lineup?
Discord.
Oh, so just for note, nothing major is happening in Discord. This is more of an opinionated thing. We came across an opinionated article. Also, big shout out to Sarah Lyon, our resident news tech guru and long time Patreon supporter. Want to say thank you for always putting out some amazing articles and updates in the Discord server. We really appreciate you. And I think he and I were on the same wavelength because I put this in our personal chat, and I think on the same day he put it in the newsroom, and I was like,
he beat you to the punch.
And I was like, okay, well, we were on the same wavelength with this one. But basically it was an opinionated article about how Discord may change from how we know it now in the coming years, especially now that they're open to everyone, and how they already have made some changes. And I have to say, we've hinted to this in previous episodes, and I cannot stress this enough. If you guys have not listened to our previous episodes, go back, listen to them. There's a lot of stuff that we allude to that in ways comes to happen and we kind of were just like, we're not doing it on purpose, people. We don't. It's like going back and watching South Park and going, how did they predict that? I swear to God, it's not on purpose. We're the South Park of podcasts. Apparently. And we were talking about some things that might change with Discord, especially in the monetary sense, where they start going a subscription route. And it really sparked up when Microsoft was in talks about buying them. That's when we really broke it down and said, okay, well, what would happen if Microsoft bought Discord? And we were all in agreement that shit would go south real fast. Money would become a very big thing. A lot of features would be stuck behind paywalls, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And this article talks about how certain bots and how certain features that they had come to know and love that were free are no longer allowed. Now, I can't remember the bot in particular. Do you remember the bot that they were? I think it was a music bot, right?
I think it was a music bot, yeah.
And it got me thinking on...
Which is a long time coming, to be honest, because... You got to think anytime you're messing with music and you're playing other artists' work,
yeah,
for other people to hear for free, it's only a matter of time before some industry comes down on that and says, okay,
yeah. So
we have to be paid.
So it wasn't Discord that per se killed the bot. It was formerly known as Groovy, but it was Google that killed the bot, basically because Google wasn't keen on the way Groovy's creators utilized YouTube, saying it was modifying the service and using it for commercial purposes. So basically Google was saying, hey, you're giving free music away, which is available to anyone who can, has access to YouTube. But Groovy pretty much narrowed it down. So if you were in this server, the bot did the work for you, which, since Google owns YouTube, they probably felt butthurt because, say one person says, and I'm not pointing fingers here, but they wanted to find a Britney Spears song. Not pointing fingers or anything.
I might have. Itachi might have opened a music chat room, and I might have been the first person to utilize it, and I might have thrown out the first few songs with Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera and Backstreet Boys. I thought, we were going to have a 90s throwback. And I thought it was funny. So did other people, except for Itachi.
I am the Grinch.
Matter of fact, I got banned in my own server. Well, in his server, but co-server. I got banned. I'm not even allowed in there. I don't even know if it's still there.
You got to make it yourself. I just make it myself now. You got to make the music channel yourself and tell it to join. That way it deletes that playlist, so I don't have to go in there and go through hours of Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera.
I'm tired of getting banned by people I know. For just trying to have fun. I'm not even like,
Porter, I'm just trying to have fun.
Wasn't even being like rude or anything. Just trying to have a good time.
Just trying to vibe, man. But yeah, basically Google attacked the bot, and it made me think. Part of what makes Discord so alluring is the bots that are constructed, bots that connect to websites, that find music, that play movies, that have extensions. If you're a streamer, you pretty much have a Discord that, if you're fortunate enough, lives and breathes all these other things, game running bots and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So part of me is wondering, 4 or 5 years from now that, Discord is its own, it's its own thing. It's open to everyone. What changes do you think are going to happen? And I'll probably say in the more near future than far future.
I'm going to call one. Okay. The Discord stage. Okay. Mm-hmm. Right now it's open and it's free. It's like Clubhouse. You can get on there, and I believe they had an update not too long ago that allowed other people that aren't in your Discord to find you. If that becomes popular, if that becomes something that turns out to be a huge platform for anybody who's using Stage for whatever their music, art, podcasts, whatever it is that they want to do, I do see it becoming something that you have to either be partnered with Discord to use, And if you're not, you have to pay.
You know, I'm actually going to agree with you on that. And the reason kind of ties into what we were talking about earlier with Apple, because in this case, if you look at it from that perspective, Discord has built a mega community. No, all those communities are not connected to each other, but it's built a user base, no different than Facebook or Instagram, blah, blah, blah. They built a platform that people use, and there's a ton of people. And with community stages, making it discoverable, your average Joe could have that lucky day where they pick a hot topic and people from all over Discord find them, and then their server blows up. And then that one conversation could make them a Discord partner, which in turn, being a Discord partner, there's a monetary value to that. Their reputation skyrockets. I'm a Discord partner, especially if they're a streamer. That's like a selling point, because then they go, oh, I'm a Discord partner. You put that in your title, and you get, you know, you go blow up on YouTube, you blow up on Twitch, boom, 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 boom. You carry that Discord name. You went from little server of like less than 100 people to big server of 5,000 people because you caught your lucky break on community stage. Eventually, Discord's going to go, okay, hold on. But in this last month, we had like 5,000 new partners pop up. How did they be? How were they made? Discord stage. Okay, Discord stage is extremely popular, but how much money did we make compared to paying? Okay, we made these partners, we are paying them, but how much are they making us? Because are they bringing people from outside of Discord into it, or are they benefiting from the community that's already here that just happened to find them? Because we're not going to make any more money from the people that are already here. They're already paying. So are these people bringing more people in, or are they just feeding off of who already is here? And once they start seeing and this is we're saying it's an if this scale starts weighing more to they're benefiting from the people that are already here, that are already paying, then they're going to have to say, okay, we can't just have Joe Schmo and Miss Yoho waking up and saying, I'm going to start a community stage on Discord because it's the new thing and people get popular there. We got to see who's serious about this. Paywall. As soon as you hit that paywall, bam, only your serious people remain. Everyone else is just doing it passively, gets gated. Granted, they'll lose some users, but not enough that it would hurt them. I mean, Discord is still the go-to for gaming chat. A lot of other companies have tried and failed to be Discord. They didn't succeed. Nobody remembers them. Yeah, you've got TeamSpeak, and there was Band, but nobody, I mean, when you say gaming chat, most people say Discord because there's so much you can do with it. So I fully agree with you that, you know, a paywall for stage would happen.
And honestly, they're by that point, I mean, they're already, obviously they went public and they're already the go-to, like you said, community server. I don't think there is another server app or anything out there that even touches Discord, comes close.
Not even close.
So I'm kind of waiting for the day someone tries to call Monopoly too.
Oh,
you know, we'll have a couple small guys come out of the woodworks that are trying to do the same thing, and then they'll you know, try to piggyback off Discord's success by trying to claim Monopoly, which, you know, we'll see what happens there. But would they be wrong? They didn't buy anyone out.
They didn't buy anyone out.
Success is not illegal, Itachi.
Success is not illegal. They're not blocking anyone. Here's the thing. Until I think I would start feeling like it's Monopoly when they are actively, like we said earlier with Apple, you know, they were actively blocking a means, but they weren't blocking everything. Discord doesn't do any of that. They don't. If anything, they do the opposite. The server's like the perfect place to build.
It is, and they let you share practically anything. And I do think that any issues that come up in the far future, they're going to tread lightly, because Discord, at least at this time right now, they are very community friendly. They want to make everyone happy, and they're not going to do anything to push anyone away.
Yeah. Right now, I would say nothing's going to happen within the next, I say 5 years. I always give like a round number of 5 years. 5 years is usually when you start seeing things happen, because everything's a slow build up. And then by the 5th year, after, big announcement, that's when you start seeing some things happen and problems or solutions or whatever. And in this regard, I feel other things that would bring changes to Discord is not Discord itself, but how outside third parties handle the accessibility Discord allows. Coming back to Google didn't like how the bots were able to bring YouTube videos, and a lot of people probably think, oh, well, what's the problem with that? Why is Google butthurt about that? Because Google is all about numbers. YouTube is all about numbers. Everything with social media is about numbers. Google would rather have in a house, if you guys are all watching a YouTube video, Google would rather you watch this YouTube video on your tablet, this person watches on their phone, this person watches on their TV. 3 people in the house, Google would rather each of you watch that same video individually instead of all on the same screen. So you have to think, Google probably started realizing bigger servers that were using bots like this, instead of getting 1,000 views on their website, through their website, drawing 1,000 eyes in traffic, it was one bot. So Google probably was saying, okay, this one bot is showing this video to 1,000 people, but it's only giving us 1 view in traffic. No, these 1,000 people want to watch the video. They all need to come here and watch this video. That's my opinion on how Google viewed the bot as a threat to their numbers. And it's reasonable, because if you think, how many servers do you think exist on Discord? How many servers do you think use YouTube bots? Google's missing out on probably like a good 50,000 views a day. Easy. And I'm granted that's like a pennies number, I'm just using hypothetical numbers, but they're looking at it like, how many people use our website? How many people have Google accounts? We want every individual person as traffic, not a bot filling in and then showing this to 100,000 people, because it's numbers and ad revenue. Like I said, how do the rich stay rich? They spend the least amount of possible to make the most. They probably lose money because they still got to pay ad revenue to the creators that they're partnered with. So to the creator, it's not really that, that harmful, because their ad revenue for the most part will stay the same. But Google's like, no, we don't like it. It's breaking, it's breaking the purpose. So yeah, I feel like a lot of these bots that allow like third party access to things will start to suffer. Because as servers grow, traffic to those other sites, especially for popular videos, would lessen. Also, they're probably looking at it like, if the bot could have access to YouTube Prime, you could probably have the person pay for that bot. Like maybe it was a Patreon bot and it was like, they pay for the bot to have Prime. Now an entire server has access to YouTube Prime.
Now there's a way around this that, it's not something that I've been thinking like this might happen, but it's a possibility. And when talking about trying to put Twitch in their place would be a good move for YouTube and Discord, for Discord and YouTube to partner.
I think that would be, an amazing move. That would put Twitch in so much hot water so fast. I would
hashtag partner YouTube, Discord,
partner,
everybody.
Woo-wee. And also probably, but at the same time, that'd be a kick in the balls to Microsoft.
Why?
Well, because Microsoft would then realize maybe our mistake was trying to buy them. Maybe we should have just partnered with them.
Trying to partner with someone, to me, sends a much bigger message than just saying, I care about your success. I want success. Let's make success together versus just buying you out. Yeah. Microsoft just wanted to buy them out.
Yeah.
Which they wanted was to disrespectful as hell to me.
Yeah. They just wanted to buy Discord success, and Discord was like, nah. But
yeah, they listen to their community.
Yeah. YouTube and Discord partnering would be phenomenal. The integrations, Google could then no longer be upset about bots. They could handle all that legal stuff. The bots would be the most powerful. The amount of access that would give, because let's be honest, Google runs the internet. Google is the internet. And then just YouTube, just streaming would take on a whole new shape. You'd be able to stream from your server and then immediately be streaming on YouTube, or from YouTube into your server. Your community connection would just be on the next level. You'd be active in your server while streaming.
Oh, it would drastically change utilizing streaming with YouTube. And you know, don't get me wrong, I can't imagine the amount of changes that might come with that, like rule regulations and changes. But we've said it before, if that were to happen, or regarding streaming between Twitch and YouTube, YouTube, when they make rules and regulations, or they change them,
they enforce it. They don't backpedal because they have to. They don't pick and choose or cherry pick. Those are the rules and regulations. I would totally and happily stream on that kind of platform, because streaming on Discord is so effortless. It's just fire up and go. It's effortless. And I, imagine you had the choice between, let's say you were a Discord partner. You could choose to directly stream into your Discord whenever you wanted to in your server, or connect it to your YouTube and easily stream on both. Then you could bring two gigantic communities. People would have a choice. It's like, you don't have to go, oh, well, did you download this app? No, everybody pretty much has a YouTube. So if they want to watch you on YouTube, boom, they can watch you on YouTube. They want to be a part of that live chat and in the chat, like it could be the Discord chat. So if people wanted to chat, they, join your server, you get double the community growth. That's an amazing idea. You should tweet them you should tweet that to them. I've been known to have influences. I'm just saying you should tweet that to them. That's an amazing idea. I love that. I would. Boom. Because YouTube is already on the rise. Twitch is on a decline. YouTube is on a rise. Right now, they're at an intersection where one good move by YouTube is all it's going to take. And one more bad move by Twitch is just going to send them plummeting. And that brings us to our last topic, which is a brief topic because we don't like to talk about Twitch too much. Twitch suing the hate raiders. What? Now, to start, we're not saying what, as in, why are you suing the hate raiders? The hate raiders need to stop. The hate raiding needs to stop. It's ridiculous. It's not okay. It's the fact that Twitch blew it off, did not care, did nothing about it, still isn't doing anything about it. You've had at least two big streamers that we talked about and Tim the Tap Man. We talked about this last podcast. They dipped because of that. They don't want to be a part of that. And Twitch responds again by suing the Twitch haters instead of, I don't know, actively saying you don't support this and doing something about it. Now, everybody who knows me knows I don't give any confidence to Twitch when they make any moves. I give everything I have a very cynical approach. Twitch is shooting themselves in the foot so many times this year. It is ridiculous. They don't have a foot anymore. They've shot themselves so much. Amputees. They're amputees now. So anytime Twitch does something, I look at it with a side eye. And my first thing is to say, okay, you're suing these two hate raiders. Cool. They'll never probably hate raid again. They probably don't even have the money to pay you guys. But what are you going to do with that money? Because in my head, I'm looking at it like, you didn't fix the problem. You instead found a way to make money from the problem. So are you going to give that money in terms of damages to the streamers that were affected by the hate raids, who now no longer feel safe streaming on your platform? Are you going to pay them what you make in damages? Are you going to increase our ad revenue? Are you going to decrease subscription prices so people actually renew subscriptions? Because I know you guys are coming out with this whole, we're going to show you the reason people don't resubscribe, and which, by the way, I don't want to know. I'm not going to lie. I really don't want to know. But whatever, Twitch, whatever you say works. And there's so many other things you could be doing, but this was the solution you came to, is to make money off of the situation.
Now, my biggest question too is there's been a lot of mystery behind a lot of the like, where are these hate rates coming from? Some of them are from like affiliates and other streamers that are trying to troll, but there's a very large amount of these hate rates coming from anonymous Twitch users and that
fake accounts,
do this, fake accounts, bots, what have you. So really, they're just coming after a very, very tiny percentage of people that, okay, you sue them, and then what? You literally get nothing out of them, and maybe those people have some kind of criminal charges brought to them at most. But that's it. That's all that's going to come at this. Like, you're not going to make any money off this. You're not solving the problem.
So, and my thing is, Twitch is, this is their stand they're taking. They still haven't come out and, really said, hey, we're not about this. They've still put out a, hey, we've given you tools, figure it out thing. But while you figure out how to use the tools we gave you, we're going to sue and make a little money off of this. I would say hate raids blatantly is a racism attack. So by Twitch's logic, by them suing hate raiders, wouldn't that mean they should be suing any person on their platform that has done anything remotely racist?
I think it's a lot of it's racism, and I think a good portion of it was
the LGBT community.
Yeah,
attacks on that. So anyone who's ever said anything derogatory of the LGBT community or any ethnic race whatsoever technically should be getting sued, because that's what hate raids are. It's attacks on that. So anyone who's ever done anything remotely close to that, and I'm thinking of some partners. I'm thinking of some top tier partners that have gotten slaps on the wrist, should be getting sued as well.
But they're not, because again, unlike YouTube, Twitch cherry picks and favors and goes about business as usual.
Yeah, it's easier to sue some obscure no-name person than to admit that some of your top people might be involved in this as well, because it all starts on servers, and I'm pretty sure the partner hands are not clean as well. But yeah, we could beat that horse into oblivion as well, but we're not going to, because we're going to end on a high note. But yeah, that was Twitch's response to it. Whatever. You do you, Twitch. But for anyone wondering why I haven't been streaming on Twitch lately, that is because I am a strong believer in, if you fuss about a problem in a platform, it makes no sense to keep supporting said platform. So that's why I haven't been streaming on there lately. I will be doing a steady shift over to YouTube, but I will pop up there every now and then, because I know a lot of you guys still are on Twitch, and Twitch is just easier for you guys to use. So I will pop up every now and then, but I will not be as active on Twitch because they are so far gone. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. But anyway, thank you everybody so much for tuning in for this wonderful jam-packed episode. We covered quite a few topics, went in depth. It was a really, really good episode. So make sure you guys let us know your thoughts in our Discord server. Hit us up on Patreon. If you don't know, we are in the middle of development for our very first RPG game, Vagabond Saga. It is now in full-on development. So if you guys want updates on that, check us out over on Patreon. Help support it. New Patreon signing up, we'll have a NPC added in their honor to the game, because we appreciate you guys. It is our first game, so we want to cement you guys in our history, our Gamma Games history, as a thank you and appreciation for that. Also, make sure to check out our merchandise shop. New merchandise will be coming. If you missed out on last week's episode and you're wondering what that new merchandise is, go check out last week's episode because I am currently working on those designs. You will not want to miss it. They are going to be great. And one of them is going to be limited. So it's not going to be around forever. So make sure you check the merchandise shop frequently or join the Patreon because it might just pop up for patrons and be sent to you guys automatically. You never know, but a lot of cool features, a lot of cool stuff. Also, big shout out to my boy Tito, who became a Patreon sub. I forgot to give him a shout out last week. I'm sorry, Tito. My bad. This is your shout out this week. Thank you for signing up and joining us on Patreon and being a supporter of the show. And thank you to all of our other patrons as well. You guys are amazing. We keep doing these episodes because of you guys, and we love your never-ending support. And all of you listeners out there, we love and appreciate all of you as well. If you have suggestions for the episode, hit us up on Twitter at the GZ Chop Shop. Anyway, you've been amazing. Stay safe. Look out for yourself and each other. And we will catch all you wonderful people on the next episode. Later, everybody.